So you're using the new lead object in HubSpot? Awesome. Now, the next question is, from a marketing perspective, or just like if you're managing HubSpot in general, what's even better is if we can automate this process where as soon as we have a marketing qualified lead, we automatically create a lead for sales. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to build a workflow like this to automatically assign MQLs to your sales team by creating a lead for them, putting that lead in the lead pipeline, and adding context to each lead, in this case, where that lead specifically came from. All of this will run fully automated, so your marketing team only needs to set this up once, and after that, leads will automatically flow, MQLs will automatically flow from marketing to sales with the necessary context. Let's rewind to the beginning of this video where I start setting this up, and we'll go from there towards this end result. So let me share my screen and show you exactly how this works. So just as a quick reminder, this is the leads object. This is where sales does the qualifying before creating a deal. So this is perfect for any MQLs to first land. And to give you an overview, so a contact gets created. From marketing, you will do some nurturing here. As soon as that lead or that contact becomes an MQL, you will create a lead object for that, and from there, sales can take it over. So without further ado, let me show you how that exactly works. My name is Jasper. I'm a certified HubSpot consultant, and we'll open up our automation tab here and then workflows. And this is where we're gonna create our workflow. So we'll do create workflow from scratch. And in this case, I'm gonna do met filter criteria. We're gonna select contacts because we do want to enroll contacts in this workflow. Then we're gonna click contact properties. And this is where we're gonna decide where our enrollment starts, basically. So you might already have some lead scoring setup and an assignment for MQLs for a certain lead score. So if that is the case, this is going to be an easy one because then you can just say any contact that becomes a marketing qualified lead needs to be enrolled in this specific workflow. If you use HubSpot correctly, you will not have any re-enrollment here because the lifecycle stage is only designed to move forward. If you're moving your lifecycle stages backward, something is going wrong in your system because that should only happen in really exceptional cases. So re-enrollment should not really be necessary in this case. If you want to catch the off chance that you would move leads back and then it would become a marketing qualified lead again, you can technically turn re-enrollment on here. Well, another example why you might want to turn on re-enrollment is if you want to also use this workflow to create new leads even when they're not a marketing qualified lead. And in that case, you can turn re-enrollment on and then maybe turn off that checkbox, which will allow you to manually re-enroll contacts in this specific workflow. So that is a good use case for this. We always want to give our workflows a good name. So in this case, I'm going to say create a new lead for new MQLs. We're going to save that, and this is where we're going to get started. Now, the easiest way for us would be to add an action here. We go to create record. We want to create a lead record. We type in some basic settings here. So usually you want to do like a first name, last name, and then let's say leads. That would be like the most basic setup, right? Then for the label, don't really know, let's say warm in this case. And then for the lead pipeline, we want to start this in new in our lead pipeline. So we just have our basic settings here. We'll click save. And now anytime a contact gets to the marketing qualified stage, we will automatically create this lead. Obviously, this is very simple. A little bit too simple, so let's work on that. In our system, we have it set up so that the lead owner is synced with the contact owner. So one of the things we might want to do here is we first need to assign that contact to a sales rep. So for that, we're going to use the rotate owner. Let me search that right here, rotate contact to owner. And then we can rotate that to a specific team. Let's say we're a franchising business and we want to rotate that to the franchise team. We click save. That's that. Again, a very simple workflow. So how can we improve this more? Let's click on plus here and we're going to add some branches. So one useful case that I've found that would be applicable to almost any company, we can like build this in a bunch of different ways, of course, would be to look at the source that a lead is coming from. So let's say we want to look at social ads. Let's say you're running some campaigns and we want to make sure that any lead that originally came from our paid socials, that they get marked as such. Then we can do the same thing for paid search. And I'm using the original traffic source right now. But again, like depending on how everything is set up for your business, it might be more relevant to go for the latest traffic source or something else entirely. So we have these, and then let's say for a third example, let's see what else we want to select here. So for the third example, let's say we specifically want to mark our AI referrals. So anyone coming through ChatGPT or Claude, those I want to mark separately as well. And then we'll say other leads. So because we already have a couple of steps that we already created, we're going to move those to other leads because that's the most general part of it. And now for the other three, we get to choose how we want to assign those. So in this case, for example, if you have a sales team that's specifically focused on paid search, I would say it's unlikely, but if that would be the case, you can assign those leads specifically to that team. What would be more likely is that, for example, we would branch here on the region. Let's say you split up the US in 4 different regions, and each region has their sales rep. Then you can check the region here and then assign the sales rep based on that region. If you want to learn more excellent ways to use HubSpot, make sure to sign up for my HubSpot Excellence newsletter, link in the description of this video. So what we're going to do now is we're going to clone this action and the following actions, and then we're going to place that here under AI referrals. So then when that lead gets created, instead of just saying lead, which doesn't really tell us a lot, we can add here AI referral. So in that case, when the sales rep is looking at their lead pipeline, they can immediately see like these leads came from AI referrals, if that's the most relevant thing for you. Of course, as I said, like if there's something that's more relevant, like maybe you have different like business units or you have different product categories, and that is way more relevant. And we already know which business unit that a certain contact is interested in. We could already add that to the lead name. But this is really where we want to give an easy overview. So for example, in my case, it's relevant to know which leads are coming from YouTube. So I will tag those accordingly using a similar workflow to this one. And then we just repeat this for the other ones. So this is going to be paid search. So we can update that right here. And then we're going to do the same thing for our social ads. And we're going to add paid social here. So now, as soon as an MQL gets created in the system, or not created, like a contact reaches the lifecycle stage MQL, this workflow will run. It will check where that lead specifically came from, where that contact came from. And then based on where the contact came from, we will assign it to a specific sales team, and we will create that lead within the lead pipeline for that specific contact. So we can just review and turn on at that point, and this will work. So when that is active then, those new MQLs will automatically create leads here in the new stage. Since we also assign them to the sales reps, they will get a notification for that, unless you turn off that notification in your settings, so it might be worth checking that. And they can start working on that lead, they can start using the pipeline here, and hopefully all of those leads will turn into deals, right? So that was it for this video. If you like this video, I'm sure you will like this video right here, which will show you exactly how the lead pipeline works and how your sales team can use the lead pipeline for that qualifying stage before deals. We've used lead status for way too long, and this is a way better way to handle this. So give that video a watch. My name is Jasper, I'm a certified HubSpot consultant, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.